Hi, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Yelena.
And this is Connie.
And this is Goku.
And they're here to help us with today's tutorial, which is on
Tiryangmukha Ekapada Pascimattanasana.
Tiryangmukha Ekapada Pascimattanasana, which is 3 limbs facing 1 leg west stretch.
Yeah.
Pose.
Or, as we usually get it, this one?
It is a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah.
Tiryangmukha Ekapada Pascimattanasana. And we're not even doing the right emphasis on the our Sanskrit. So, before we get into it, we have to ask you, do you like us?
Or them.
Or them? Do you like our videos? Please like this video, subscribe, comment below, tell us how much you like everything, tell us what you want to see.
And then maybe we'll listen.
We do this, we read everything.
Yes.
Yeah. And someone wrote asking about this pose, they wanted a breakdown of it. Bit of a strange pose. I would say it's harder to say than do.
Yeah.
So this is part of Ashtanga's primary series. Kind of lots of forward folding in the primary series. This one's a little bit different than a bunch of the other poses, is that we have internal rotation happening with one of the legs.
Yeah, jumping.
And it has a unique vinyasa. Unique vinyasa means it's not the standard cross leg, jump back, jump through, but tradition tells us to enter and exit a certain way, specific way.
If you can.
If you can.
Yeah, if you can, we'll demonstrate it in a second. If you can't enter into it in this particular unique way, then you would just do it, the usual cross legs and then jump through or shuffle through or whatever it is.
If you have knee problem flexing one of the knees, closing it, then this pose is probably counterindicated right now. It's difficult to do it without putting pressure on the knee. I'll give you some suggestions, but be very careful, especially if you're trying to do the vinyasa in. If you come into it quickly and you can't control the amount of weight that you're putting on that knee, it could be a problem. Okay, should we do the vinyasa?
Sure.
We being Yelena.
Thingy.
On our nice purple life form mat. It's like the garden one, or so pretty. Okay, ready? Am I in your way here?
A little bit.
All right. So from downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, Sapta, inhale, you jump into position. See that unique vinyasa in? And then Ashtau, exhale into the state of the asana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 breaths here. The drishti is the foot, the tip of the foot, padagrai, not Goku. And then Nava, inhale, head up only. Exhale there. Dash on the inhale, release the foot, hands down, pick up. Yekadashai, exhale, go back. Dwadashai, inhale, upward dog. Krayodashai, exhale, downward dog. And then we would do the same thing on the other side. So we started with the left leg extended and the right knee bent, which is the pattern for primary series, the first half of it.
And then if you're having a hard time with vinyasa, then you would just jump through, and then from there you set up, and then the same thing, you come back into that cross-legged version, and then you jump or step back.
Yeah, just do your best. Okay, so let's talk about the posture, and then we'll go back to the vinyasa. Okay? So all of these, the first half up to, maybe the whole primary series, but definitely the first half of primary series, really based on the Dandasana starting position, where you would come through and sit with both legs extended. If you read Yoga Mala by Shike Patabi Joyce, then this is where we would jump through, beginning each posture, actually. I don't know if he says for Tiryang that we would have had the unique vinyasa. Anyways, the point of this is that what we want to do is try to keep the hips level and the extended leg tapering in towards the center line. So you see how Yelena, when the leg is extended straight forward, the heel is in line with the center of the hip. Okay? The other leg is going to fold back, and this is the inward rotation I was talking about. So because the shin is coming to the outside of the thigh bone, there's a very mild amount of internal rotation happening in the right thigh. If you have tightness in the hip, it might show up here a lot, like where you'll feel like your hip hikes way up into the air, even to the point where it can be hard to balance. If that's the case, what I would recommend is that you open the knee out to the side. So try to keep that extended leg centered still, but open that folded leg as wide as you need to accommodate being able to sit up straight. Okay.
And that can also help with knee issues too. Opening the leg.
It'll decrease the pressure in the knee for sure.
If you're feeling any tension or anything.
Kind of takes you off the front line of the leg. So if you've got like a tight quadricep, this can relieve it. And then the right heel is touching Yelena's hip. So make sure when you set up for this that you don't have a big space between your heel and your hip. Because as we kind of go into the pose, and if we're trying to level the hips and bring that hip down towards the floor, there's going to be torquing in the knee joint. You can see the shin bone and the thigh bone don't line up. So when you fold the leg, either jumping or stepping through and then bringing the leg back, try to keep the shin and the thigh in line with each other and rotate from the thigh bone to bring the heel to the outside of the leg. It's a very slight rotation. Sometimes I'll see people use their thumb and roll the calf out. I understand why we would do that, because we're dividing the calf muscle. There's two, so we're kind of pulling the outside open so the leg folds together tightly. Just make sure that you're only moving your muscle, that you're not rotating the whole shin bone, because that'll be torquing like the other way.
Yeah, I find it's really like, even here when you did that, when you said that, and I did it for, visual purposes, the moment I did this, I felt this movement impacted the movement of my whole bone, not just the tissue. And so right away I could feel the little tweak.
Yeah, Yellen is quite sensitive, I've learned.
Yes, I am.
Just, I would, even if it means that you don't like get as deep in without rolling it out, it might be better just to keep it like that. Open the knee out to the side. One of the things that I also see people do a lot is grab a block, not in our class, but grab a block and sit on it to raise the hips to decrease the pressure in the knee. That makes sense, but traditionally we don't use props like that. So I would rather see kind of a version with the knee out to the side, maybe with the hand holding you up on the floor, than you sitting on a block with your hips higher than the heel.
Yeah, blocks kind of take away from the truth of where we are within our body and what is happening. And I think if you are every day sitting in your practice and you with kindness confront whatever limitations and restrictions are showing up, that will help foster and create change sooner than kind of sitting on a block and kind of, not fooling yourself, but what's the better...
Well, there's like kind of a coddling that can happen. You have to pay a lot of attention to figure out, is this a requirement or is it a desire, Anyway, perhaps that's a whole other video. So let's talk about the action of the other leg then. So Yelena's got the one leg folded back with the heel touching the hip, trying to bring the legs in as close together as possible. And you can see, I can see at least a slight inward rotation with that left femur. Now she's got the right leg extended, which accommodates the shin bone being on the outside. But that's also going to start to shift your weight down towards this right leg. You start to tip over a little bit. That's okay. As long as you can balance, that's fine. And then this right leg, because your weight's shifting over this way, it's going to be hard not to let it roll out. You can see how Yelena's foot points out to the side. So when you're doing this pose, do your best to keep the foot pointing up, but not by moving from your foot. Try to roll the thigh in. So keep the leg engaged and straight, and then spin the extended thigh in towards the center line, internal rotation, and draw it back into the hip. So it feels like you're suctioning the femur back into the hip socket, and you'll feel like your hip flexors are starting to work.
And inside too, I feel it a lot here.
Okay, and then the bent leg, you can start to stretch forward through the thigh a little bit while you press those toes down into the floor. So there's kind of this reverse action happening in the legs. I find that really situates me in my pelvic floor and my bandhas, my lower belly engagement. Yeah. And then you're going to come forward in that position and applying, your forward bending intelligence. We've talked about a lot in other tutorials where, of course, we don't want to over round the back. We don't want to drop the forehead down towards the knee. And we were going to try to bring the chest forward towards the foot, keeping a nice sort of natural line in the upper back. The lower back will round a little bit as we pull back through the belly. That's normal. But try to roll forward on your sits bones. Probably it's only your extended leg sit bone that's on the floor. Keep trying to shift the weight forward onto the front edge of that extended leg sit bone. Yeah? Oh, and I use my arms quite a bit in that pose to pull. Also, I know this cheat, so don't come into it and then prop your arm on the floor to try to push back onto the other hip. I know that one. I do it too. So try to get the work to come from the center of your body instead of periphery, the arm. Okay. So that's the pose. Anything else? No. We'll talk about the vinyasa?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you saw Yelena jump into it. Let's just break it down. There's actually a nice step into it, literally, that makes it easier. So you could just jump into the position if you can jump into the position. But as you're learning it, you might want to break it down a little bit by coming onto the top of the bent leg foot. So Yelena is going to extend her left leg. So she's coming onto the top of the right foot. And you see it came about halfway between the hands and the foot. She stepped halfway forward, and she's going to push down a little bit through the top of the right foot. And she's pressing through the hands so the back is round. And now watch. She's going to bring the left leg forward, bending the knee, externally rotate it slightly to get the foot to come between the arms. And then, not sitting straight back and down because she would fall, she's going to drag her hips forward, the knee forward, to sit down with control. Okay, so she always had some extra support with that bent leg foot pressing down into the floor. Coming out of it, the same thing. Look, she rocks forward, she pushes, rounds the back, lifts the hips by pushing down through the top of the foot, drags the extended leg back by bending the knee externally rotating, and then from there, she can hop back to Chaturanga. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm in both of us.
Oh, okay, I see.
Anyway, I hope you found it good. Did you? Let us know.
Yeah. It was useful.
Yeah, like it, subscribe,
And comment.
and tell us what you think of Goku, too. Wasn't super helpful.
No. He just gave us a side eye.
Okay, well, see you next week.
Bye.